Guys, welcome back. We are live with SFC. It's Corey. Thank you for joining me today. It's a beautiful, beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon. So, beautiful day. New month. Can you believe January, for whatever reason, has always seemed like the longest month of the year for me. And that went by this year so fast that it was unbelievable. So, we're in February right now. And it's I'm happy, excited about the month. If the year is decided on by how wonderful January was, this is going to be an amazing year. And I hope that's the same thing for you too. We got a new theme because it's a new month, and that's what we're going to spend our time on. As you can see, right behind me is the title of this month's theme, Growing Through It. Growing through it, and that's something that I believe that very few of us do. Whenever we go through things, we don't grow through things. So I wanted to talk about that because I think it's necessary, if you will, for us to take advantage of every experience that we happen to encounter, whether we deem it as good or deem it as bad. I think it can teach us something. And anytime something teaches you something, anytime it changes you, uh, whether it's the way you think or whatever, then you're growing through it and you're just not going through it. I think so many of us waste so much of precious time just going through things because we never get anything out of it. Like we have to relive that lesson over and over and over and over again, and we wonder why the same situation keeps showing up in our life. It's like, but I'm not with that person anymore. I'm not on that job anymore. Well, guess what? If you went through something with a particular person, it wasn't that physical or outside person that you went through with. It was that spiritual aspect of that person. So when you see the spiritual aspect of the person and you keep attracting the same circumstance, same situations in your life, that means you haven't learned the lesson, which means you didn't grow through it. You only went through it. You were going through it. Appreciate you, Catherine and Denise. Thank y'all for joining me today. And the rest of you, thank you so much. But, I think it's imperative for us to realize that every time an event comes in our life, whatever we deem it as, whether we judge it as being negative or judge it as being positive, it comes into our lives, one, because we attracted it into our lives, and two, it comes in there for a reason. It's necessary. It's a necessary tool that teaches us something. I am a firm believer that things don't just happen. Things don't just show up. There is a reason. And once I learned how to sit back and just say, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Not with a victim's mindset per se, but with the mindset of, what is this teaching me? And so it went from, why is this happening to me, to what is this teaching me? And as a result, I didn't just go through, I started growing through. And we're going to spend some time talking about that over the course of this month. Hey, Charles, we're going to spend some time talking about that because I think so many of us, we can all attest to the fact that everyday life comes with different challenges, whether it's physical, financial, emotional, mental, spiritual, whatever the case may be. Life comes to us in so many different directions with so many different challenges that we can often feel bombarded or overwhelmed by these things. But and as a result, it throws us off kilter or throws us off balance. I am a big proponent for balance. I cannot function when I'm feeling that I'm out of balance. I have to have balance. So, like I shared with you some time ago, that's why I started meditating. That's why I started journaling. That's why I started just taking some time for myself. My mental well-being is just as important as my physical well-being. So that's what it does. So as a result, I've learned how to look at whatever I'm going through, whatever the day brings, and each day brings its own challenges. But I've learned how to sit back and just assess the situation to see what it is it's trying to teach me. I saw something just today. I think it was a little meme or something that said, anything that annoys you it's teaching you patience. And oftentimes we don't realize that. And that means we go through things that annoys us until we get what we feel is annoying us out of our lives completely. And then we feel lonely or feel whatever the case may be. But when you realize that if it is annoying you, it is literally teaching you patience, that's growing through it. That's all it is. That's growing through it. When you keep running out of money, it's teaching you how to scale back on spending. It's teaching you something. It's teaching you how to be a better steward of your money. So it's not until you learn these lessons that you grow through what you go through. And once you grow, you don't have to worry about ever experiencing that again. So over the course of this month, I want to touch on a couple of things. We're going to touch on the areas of growth that we want to see happen every time we encounter a situation, be it negative or be it positive. So one of the areas of growth is mental growth. Another area is social growth. And then you have emotional, and then, of course, spiritual growth. And now those are the four areas over the course of these 4 weeks of February that I want to talk about. Mental growth is right now, it's a major thing. If you don't learn how to accept life as it comes and appreciate the experience, not judging it to be so bad and like it's coming to do something to you, but rather judging it as it's doing something for you, you're going to feel overwhelmed. That's why so many people, that's why mental health has become a hot topic in the last few years, especially since COVID pandemic. It has become a major topic for so many people because people are not realizing that this has come for you and not come to you to help you and not to come to hurt you. And once I think that we learn and embrace that as a mindset, that's called the growth mindset. Once we embrace that growth mindset, then it doesn't matter what comes, that we can sit back and we can take a few deep breaths. We can learn how to assess a situation is, whether it's negative or whether it's positive, that we can sit back and we can appreciate what it's teaching us. I've learned how to, even some of the smallest situations that seem to agitate me or seem to, to annoy me or whatever, or throughout the course of the day, whether it's, cam or whether it's a person on the phone, whether it's whatever, I've learned how to just take a moment to breathe and not let that situation control me, but I maintain control just so that it can teach me. There's one thing that I've struggled with sometimes is patience. And there are days when, Cam, he is all of 7 years old. And I've learned that that is what was sent here as a tool to teach me patience. So the definition of a tool is a device that is used for a specific purpose or used to accomplish a specific purpose. So I look at Cam as this tool that has been divinely sent to me to help me grow in patience. You know what I mean? There are bills that come in. If I look at some of the unexpected financial things that pop up, just whatever, or something I forgot or something that I bought that I should. All of these things, they're teaching me something. So they're a tool that I use to grow mentally. I have that growth mindset now to where I'm not going to sit and fall into this depression. I'm not going to start worrying. I'm not going to get agitated or frustrated or irritated. I sit back and I simply assess, how is this growing me? What type of growth am I getting out of this? So let's talk about for a minute that mental growth. Think about a situation in your life. Hey Sharon, hey Sonia, appreciate you guys. Sharon says my 8-year-old is teaching me patience as well, for real. And once you learn that, you sit back and you just grow through it. These are lessons. Once you get what you're supposed to get out of it, you don't have to worry about it. And you deal with other 8-year-olds. I can deal with other 7-year-olds. I can deal with other grown-up 7-year-olds, 7-year-olds in grown-up bodies. And I have the patience. Once I learn that and I have that growth mindset, it teaches me how to just sit back and say, you know what? I can respond. I don't have to react. I don't always have to react. I simply can respond. So you have all of these things going on. And once you learn how to have a growth mindset is simply the mindset where you assess that situation and see what it can do for you, not what it's doing to you. It's growing you, it's developing you, it's grooming you. So keep that in mind. But let's talk specifically today about the mental growth. Mental growth is when things come into your life and they alter your way of thinking. They make you think differently. They alter the way you react and or respond to things. So when we're talking about mental growth, it's all about how you think, what you think, and how to respond to what you think. Exactly, Sharon. Respond and don't react. So you have these things. I want you to think for a moment, for those of you that will, think for a moment about some of the things that you've gone through just recently. I don't care whether it's financial, physical, emotional, mental, relationship, all of these things. Think about some of those things, whether it's happened in your marriage or in your relationship, whether it's happened on your job, whether it's happened in any situation. I want you to think about a situation right now, and I want you to go immediately to your thought pattern. Think about your thought pattern as it relates to just this one particular situation, the first thing that popped up into your mind. Think about the mental growth that it gave you or is giving you if it's currently going on. Think about that. Think about the mental growth that you can extract, or think about the mental growth that you have already extracted from it. And let's talk about that for a moment. Think about that negative situation, and you can call it negative or challenging or difficult. I want to tag it as. Think about that and think about, did it teach you something? Did it change the way you thought? Did it change your thinking processes? Did it change how it made you feel? Think about that. And I think that if you become consciously aware of it, and I think you can easily see how it can grow you if you allow it. Here's the kicker though, for any aspect of growth, you cannot grow and complain at the same time. You cannot grow and be a victim at the same time. You cannot grow and become bitter at the same time. Growth is a positive forward movement. Put that somewhere in your notes. Growth is a positive forward movement. Any type of growth is a positive forward movement. When you grow mentally, when it changes or alters your thoughts, whatever that negative situation, if it doesn't teach you anything else, it should teach you that you don't ever want to go through it again. So that means as a result, you're going to do things differently, and you can only do things differently if you think differently. If it doesn't teach you anything mentally, then your actions and reactions are going to be the exact same thing. So that means you're going to have to go through that test all over again. And I personally believe, for me, I've accepted the fact and embraced the fact that I'm tired of going through. It's time for me to grow through. I want to grow things. Denise, you cannot grow and not forgive at the same. Absolutely, you have to. That's growth. But the forgiveness starts with yourself. Okay, you forgive yourself, you forgive other people. That's growth, because then you don't have to encounter that situation like that again. And that's my own personal experience, my own personal opinion, is that once you grow through things, those things are that it has accomplished its purpose in your life. You don't have to deal with it anymore, but you have to let it accomplish its purpose. It's a tool. Remember that it's a tool. It is for a specific purpose, whether it's working on your patience, whether it's working on your ability to think differently, whether it's working on your ability to have a different way of speaking and talking. And we're going to talk about some other areas of growth throughout the month. But today specifically, you can't have a different life and keep the same thoughts. You can't. It doesn't work that way. You keep wondering, why does this always happen to me? Why do I keep running the same people? Why do I keep attracting the same people in my life? It's the same personalities, just the different faces. It's the same outcome, just a different face, just a different relationship. It's the same type of job. It's the same type of relationship. It's the same type of everything. That's all you. Once you grow through it, once you extract the lessons that are necessary, once it teaches you what it needs to teach you, you don't ever have to go through that again. You don't ever have to go. Think about that for a moment. If something caused you pain and you grow through that pain and you realize that your mind opens up, it expands, and all of a sudden you know how to look for trigger words. You know how to look for trigger actions. You know how to look for those red flags. And that. So you've grown through that, which means you don't have to experience that particular thing again because it served its purpose. Most of the time, we tend to play the victim. They hurt me. They don't like me. They talked about me. They left me. They abandoned me. They used me. They misused me. All of these mindsets that we embrace falls under that victim's mentality, and you learn nothing from it. And guess what? You're literally setting yourself up for the exact same thing to happen, just with somebody else further down the road. But once you learn that this mindset of growth, this growth mindset, you can say, you know what? It taught me a lot. By abandoning me, they taught me a lot. I really sat back and I assessed that I need to change the way I hang with people or change the people that I hang with. I need to be the one that's in control. If I don't want to do it, I say no. If they tell me I can't use my voice to communicate, I can't speak, then I don't need to be around them because I'm valuable. I am important. I am somebody. And I cannot hang out with people who devalue me or who don't know my worth. So see how that changes. Your whole mindset begins to shift and change. All because you realize that you're in control of who you are and who you choose to be. So that's what you have to understand, that once you start growing through it and you have that growth mentality, then things open up for you. And the little problems that you keep encountering over and over, it's like you're in a bad movie. They keep happening. There's a sequel and you're on sequel number 15. It's like the Friday the 13th movies or the whatever that just keeps coming out. Sequel number 1, 2, 3. You're on sequel number 15, and you don't want it to stop. You're the one that can make it stop. You're the writer. You are the writer of your life. You are the writer of your movies. Take control. Grow through it. Change your mindset. Denise says, your growing stage in your life is your steps to maturity. Absolutely, it is. That's how you mature. That's how you mature mentally. That's how you mature. We used to think that everything happens to us. It always happened. Why did this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? They should have never done it to me. Well, if you have a growth mentality, it ain't about what they've done to you. It's about what they did for you. Sometimes we don't grow until we are challenged. You stay in that proverbial cycle, that like a hamster on a wheel, and you go there, you just stay there, go on that wheel. And it's not until you're challenged. What do you do if the wheel breaks? What if you break the wheel? Did the wheel break? Is that something that happened to you? or is it something that happened for you? Because if you are in a growth mindset, the breaking of the wheel is what's going to cause you to realize that there's more to life than being on that wheel. Okay, so think about that for a minute. Think about how things will happen for you, and think mental. Change your thoughts. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through right now, don't just go through it, grow through it, and ask yourself, how is this helping me? What purpose is this in my life? What purpose is this fulfilling for me? Ask that question every time, whether it's financial difficulty, whether it's relationship difficulty, whether it's physical difficulty. What purpose is this fulfilling? Could it be that this physical ailment that I've just encountered be the very thing that will help me appreciate being healthy once God heals me? Could it be that this broken relationship could be the very thing to teach me my worth, to teach me my value? So when the right person comes, not only will I be right for him, but there's a standard that I get to set. So I never have to deal with this type of hurt again. So start asking yourself that question. What purpose is it fulfilling in my life? What purpose is this fulfilling in my life? Not saying, well, why did this happen to me? Why did this me? Why me? Why not you? I think it's a beautiful thing when we have to go through some things sometimes, because it grows us. And when you learn how to grow through life instead of just go through life, life becomes even more magical. It becomes even more beautiful, even more amazing. And you won't ever encounter another bad day. It may be a day that challenges you, but it will never be considered a bad day. You know, I was telling some the other week, I was like, people always ask me, well, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing great. And it's like, really? Don't nobody be great every day? Yeah, I'm raising my hand. I'm great every day because I started going through my challenges instead of just going through. So it's a beautiful day every day for me. There are things that teaches me patience. There are things that teaches me to keep my mouth closed. There are things that teach me how to sit back and be more observant. There are things that teaches me wisdom. There are things that teaches me knowledge. There are things that teaches me consciousness and awareness. It's a beautiful day because every day when I lay down, I have extracted something from that day that makes me better than I was the day before. And that's a choice. I don't lay down as a victim anymore, because if I lay down as a victim, that means I'm going to get up the next morning as a victim too. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I encourage you to grow through whatever you're going through. Don't just go through it, grow through it, and watch the magic of life open up for you. All right, that's it. Sanjay, message received. Thank you so much. Thank y'all today for watching. I appreciate you. Like and share this video. You can go to my YouTube channel, like it. You can send this to people that you know are struggling. If it blessed you, I can assure you it has the same power to bless somebody else. Benny says, this helped me greatly. Things are happening for me, period. It has a purpose thing. And it does. It always has a purpose. It's a tool, remember. And every tool that you buy has a specific purpose. Every tool, every little tool that you go and get, it has a specific purpose. Some bigger tools, bigger problems have multiple purposes. Think about that. You can't go buy a tool at the hardware store. Every little tool has a purpose, but even the bigger tools have a purpose and sometimes multiple purposes too as well, okay? So just think about that. Let whatever you're going through alter the way that you think. Don't just go through it. Grow through it. You owe it to yourself, all right? Talk to you guys next week. Have a phenomenal rest of the day and a great rest of the week. All right, talk soon.